Put this back. And I don't know, the sun is shining behind me. You can kind of see my shadow. Oop, there's my fingers. So I don't know if that's going to wreak havoc with us today or not. But I have some stuff to look at. Here, let's just shove it all in there. I got a package, and we're going to look at it together. Let me do some stuff on my computer just really quick. It'll help me to be able to see the chats and stuff as they're going on. Okay. All right, so we've talked about it once before. I've got a little bit of platinum and palladium ore from the Stillwater mine here in Montana. And I showed it one night on our hangout, our live show and tell, to one of my meteorite friends. And a lot of the meteorite people will also collect minerals, radioactive things, fossils, whatever on the side. So this particular couple really wanted a piece of that Stillwater ore. So I sent them a piece and a whole bunch of fossils that I find here. I know fossils is kind of their other thing. And without even talking about it, he insisted, I'm going to send you some impact breccia in exchange for your ore that you're sending this way. And without even talking about it, I knew that they like fossils, so I stuck a bunch of my local fossils in the package. And then we got together later the next week, and we were like, I was like, oh, I put all kinds of extra stuff in your package. And they were like, so did we, all kinds of local fossils and stuff. So it was really kind of a fun story to hear that. Hi, Patrick. Hi, Slim. It was a fun story that without planning it, we each sent a whole bunch of goodies to each other. So without saying too much, this couple that I did a rock exchange, it wasn't really planned, but this couple that I did a rock exchange with live in New York, Ithaca area. And so a lot of this is self-collected material, and it's all neatly labeled. So these ones are the shatter cones and impact breccias here. And they're not really fun to look at if you're not into meteorites. So I'm gonna move along pretty quick, get these out of the way. Absolutely, Patrick. I love sharing rocks with people, and I really like seeing what everybody else has. I really put my foot in my mouth one time. We were talking about things like Libyan desert glass and tektites and stuff, and I was like, I'm not an impactite girl. I don't want impactites in my collection. And then somebody sent me a couple of really nice pieces, and I was like, oh, dang. I didn't know what I was missing out. I didn't know that I was missing out. So it's always fun to do a rock exchange with somebody. You just really never know. Hey, Full. Glad you stopped in this morning and said hi. Have a good day. Here's a herc that they found. Self-collected. All this material is self-collected by them. So I'd take it out of there. Well, I'll take it out of there. I was going to say I would take it out, but you guys have all seen a herc before. But it's beautiful. Again, not something I would have went out of my way to go get myself a Herkimer diamond. But when they sent me one, I was like, dang, they never, ever show up as nice on screen as they are really in hand. So there's a little herc that they sent me. And let's see. These are so fun. They live in like fossil utopia. 10, whatever 10 is, it's not particularly interesting. 5 though, look at 5. Whatever 5 is. I can't pronounce these. There's another little shell. Look at all the little ziggy zags in that one. What number is that? 6. So whatever that is. Little swirly shell. 14. Unidentified gastropod. I can read that. I can pronounce those words. Thanks, Patrick. No, I don't think that really helps. I'm a prairie girl, so some of this ocean stuff is super foreign to me. Like, I definitely do find there's a little shell in there. I definitely do find ancient sea fossils out here, but other than like the ammonites and the brachiopods and, you know, the common ones, I really can't name you what I'm finding. Whatever that one is. Oh, look at the detail on that thing. Let's take it out of the bag. This is number 11. I think Patrick is going to pronounce it for us. Try to rest my elbow there. I have no idea what that is. Kind of a cool little thing. Uh-oh, that one got broke-decayed. Broke right in half. Oh no, one became 2 samples. That's a bummer. I let my kid have a look at these. In fact, I'll probably let my kid keep these. He's kind of the fossil guy. This one's cool. Look at the shape of that one. Number 20. Nope, it's going to be number 12. Whatever that is. Patrick's pronouncing these for us. Yeah, but that's cool, Slim. I don't have a crinoid stem. I like these little guys. Whatever these little branchy looking guys are, these, the texture on these is mind-blowing. It's full of these teeny tiny little pores, these teeny tiny little dots. Little branches on that thing. You'll have to excuse my dirty fingers, my short fingernails. You guys know why my hands are hashed. Lapidary work. Also, work is hard on my hands. But this is cool. I love this little guy. I don't keep a lot of earth rocks in my display case, but I might keep a couple of these. The Herkimer, maybe the unpolished slice of breccia, and maybe just 1 or 2 of these I might keep in my case. Here's another one of those like super pinholy little things. I can't see the number. 15. Unidentified bryozoan. I think I pronounced that right. Another little branchy looking guy. Really kind of cool. These are kind of cool. And like I say, they collected all of these, and then they know what they're collecting even. We are all made of stars, says Patrick. So we got one more quick little box of these to look at, and then I did get some new meteorites, and I'm really thrilled. Number 13. Strophomena. I probably butchered that. I really don't even know what we're looking at. This little guy, I think he's like a little half clam kind of looking guy. Right there. I think all of this up here is kind of some matrix, and all of this back here is matrix too, I think. Anyway, there's one. Number 4. I have no idea. And I can't even see what's in here. I'm going to take their word for it that there's a fossil in there. Here's another like shell looking piece. This is kind of cool. This is number 2, whatever that one is. What does that say? Mucrosphere. Mucronatus. And last but not least, oh, he's cool. 9. Yeah, there's that same word again. Some kind of little clam guy. I've honestly never seen clams with a shell that shape. I don't know if they still are around or if that's really just an ancient sort of thing there. But yeah, that was really cool of them. Really, really cool of them to send me all of those rocks. And me and, like I say, my kid really had fun looking at them. So I wanted to share that real quick. Quick little rock exchange. And the first new meteorite that I just got yesterday is a 6.26 gram unidentified chondrite, unclassified chondrite. And you can see all the metal in this piece. This is a real cool meteorite though, because you really get the best of both worlds. You can see that little white chondrule right there. There's kind of a little gray one there. Another big white one over here. So not always do you get metal and really pretty clear chondrules all in one meteorite. So this is kind of cool. I did say that this was a 6 gram slice. And you get a lot of surface area for that 6 grams because it's cut just razor thin. Yeah, meteorite. I don't know. A lot. If you use the iron meteorites, you can make jewelry out of them. I personally make jewelry out of the chondrites because I think they're beautiful. And I just wire wrap pieces, not this thin and usually not this pretty, but I just wire wrap ordinary chondrites. But yeah, Slim, you can get your hands on some fairly affordable iron meteorite for making jewelry with. Like a lot of the big companies will make watches or necklaces or whatever, and so you'll get a big piece of meteorite with a big circle cut out of it and a like square cut out of it here. So it's a weird little chunk now, and it's just the scraps leftovers from the jewelry making company. But I don't see why you couldn't, especially if you were going to do like a silver band with a like chip inlay right at the, right at the top. I don't see why you couldn't use some of those little scrap pieces to make jewelry with. Or even get one big enough to go all the way cut you know, all the way. Mm, I don't think it's, yeah, it might be an H. See, and the thing about that is there's so many chondrules in that meteorite that it's hard to say for sure if it's an H. You might be right though, Patrick. So, see if I can break this. This is a Martian sugartote. Sugartote. Ugh, can't speak today. It's under classification, so we can't precisely say that it's Martian, but we can take a good guess that it is. It's going to be classified soon, but a 0.982 gram sample, again, just cut razor thin. I got some friends who just recently got their hands on isomet saw, and so they've just been going crazy, cutting everything they can get their hands on. So Martian can be pretty expensive material, but look at all that surface area that I get to look at in this, you know, it's under a gram. It's not even a gram. And look how big of a sample I got there. I have another piece of Martian and it's fully crusted, just a tiny little pea fully crusted, which is really cool to look at because Martian crust is beautiful. But look at the inside of that bad boy. Look at all that surface area. Yay for isomet saws. It's a little rich for my blood to have an isomet, but so is cutting Martians. And the last one I have to show you today is the first of its type in my collection. And let's see. Patrick, do you know what this is? Before I tell you guys what this is, you might have read the thumbnail even and already know what it is. Oh, see if I can get it open with my non-existent fingernails because of the lap work I do. All right. What do you think, Patrick? Do you have any guesses? Enough metal? Okay, nope. That's the old comment. Had to restart your... Well, you're just in time, Slim, to see my favorite new meteorite piece. It's a 1 of 9 classification, so there's only 9 others like it. It's a bencubanite. Still wondering if Patrick's going to take a guess here. I know it's beautiful, isn't it, Slim? It's been on my wish list, on my want list for a long time. It doesn't look like much on the other side. Looks like most meteorites look on the other side. But that's the outside, that's the crust, the outside of this meteorite. Not necessarily crust, but natural patina. And then this little teeny tiny piece was sliced in half, and it has all of that going on inside of it. Slim still hasn't guessed. I don't even know if he's still here. Or Slim, sorry. Patrick hasn't even guessed yet. So I'm going to go. Oh, wait. Nope. I see a big metal blob. CB, yep. CBA. It's Gujba. You know, Slim, even learning the basics of meteorites is a bit overwhelming, can be a bit overwhelming. And then the more you learn, the more you realize you have so much more to learn. So meteorites, I mean, it's a niche sort of thing. You've got to be really committed to learn. And I think that if you want to find one out in the wild, you want to go hunting meteorites, I think probably the best thing you could do for yourself is to buy some meteorites, get a feel for what they really, really look and feel like in hand. Cut one even. Cut one on your saw, polish it. The more familiar you can get with a variety of meteorite material, I think the more you're going to be able to identify a piece if you find it out in the wild. It's, it's not likely. Oh, but you were so close, Patrick. Yeah, Gushba is pretty wild. So let's see, we'll pull out our little ID card now that we're done guessing. It's not a full ID card, it's not a COA or anything, it's just a quick little label that goes with this. So it's 0.697 grams of Gushba. It fell in Nigeria. It was a witnessed fall on April 3rd of 1984. That was a good year, wasn't it? So, Gushba, there's actually a lot of this material, but because it was a witnessed fall, that makes meteorites a little bit more expensive usually. And because it fell way back in 84 and the science really wasn't done on it until either like the late 90s or early 2000s, a lot of this material was taken by the locals and I don't know. They keep it, they love it. I don't know what they do with it. Make it into jewelry? I have no idea. But there isn't as much of this left as there originally was when it fell. It sounds like a Russian food or Italian insult. Yeah, it does. uh, there are a lot of meteorite names that are really, really fun. A lot of the Australian meteorites have crazy names because there are these like meteorites are named for the nearest post office in which they fell or the nearest town in which they fell. So when they fall in Australia, there are a lot of little outposts, like little, I don't know, we would call them like ranger stations or something here, but there's like all these little outposts out through Australia, and they have really cool and weird names. And so there's a meteorite from Australia called Camel Donga. These outposts are called dongas. And so some of the Australian meteorites really, really get funny names like Camel Donga or whatever. So anyway, yeah, this is Gujba, was a witnessed fall, like I say, back in 84. And there's big slices of Gujba, bigger, that have all of this cool stuff going on in it. But they want like $700 for those slices, and that's not the kind of money I have. So, like I say, this one's been on my wish list for a long time, and I keep seeing all these really beautiful pieces of it come up on market. Excuse me. And I have to pass. It's just way out of my league. But when this little Gujba pea came along, and sometimes when you cut these peas, they're kind of boring inside. You'll get all of this silicate material, that brown kind of looking material that's in between those metal blobs. Sometimes these little peas are entirely silicate, or sometimes they're entirely metal. But this little tiny piece looks like a big slice of gouge-ba, only miniatured. So I really got the gouge-ba effect, the feel of gouge-ba in this tiny little sample. I was just on cloud 9. I have a jeweler's loop and I've put it up to my lens before, but it's horrible. I'll take some close-ups of it and make a short or something out of it, post on a poll or something so you can get a real good look at it, because it is cool. And like I say, it's the first bencubinite I have in my collection. I have a lot of other stuff. I have mesositerites, I have pallasites, but that's the first bencubinite I've got, and it's a stunner. I'm so proud of it. Yeah, so check out later. I'll try to do something so you guys can have a better look at that. I'm certainly not opposed to showing it off some more. uh, so yeah, that was a fun package for me to open. I've, like I say, really wanted Gouge-ba for a long, long time. So I was so excited. Yeah, thanks, Patrick. Hi, Hobo. Aw, you gotta get one. They're really affordable, and I know you know where to get it. I know you know where to get it. You got to get a little piece of goujeba, that little goujeba pea. Maybe you could even still get the other half of mine, and we could have sister slices, hobo. Oh, um, I didn't really plan what I was gonna show you guys today. Here, just on the fly. I had mentioned that I do make some meteorite jewelry. I'm glad to see you here, Hobo. I've been missing you at the meteorite hangouts. I'm glad you popped in. Just in the nick of time too to see that. This is a 6.89 gram unclassified ordinary chondrite. Not nearly as much metal in this piece. You can see it in there, right about there. Are you gonna stop in tonight, Hobo? Hopefully. There's nothing like a little laughter to make a person feel better. So if you want to come and we can give you crap about, you know, not being there for the past couple of weeks and for missing out. Oh, you missed out. You missed out, Hobo. Oh, the whispers in the community right now. We had a new guy join us and he kind of snuck in. He started talking about dropping names that we all knew, and he sounded kind of like he had it all together, and then he was like, check out this piece of satellite. I think I found a piece of satellite. And he's like, here's the chemical readout on this piece of satellite I think I found. And Pat kind of shut him down. He was like, I don't know, man. I don't think that's a piece of satellite. And he's like, well, I didn't think it was anyway. He totally backpedaled. So he had some earth rocks that he wanted us to look at too, and it was just kind of, ooh, what do you do though? It takes all kinds of kinds. And I'm always about helping people learn. So it was interesting though. I'm glad you like that. Yeah, I just sent a whole new batch of jewelry to Topher and Sue. So we're talking about Gotta Run. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, thanks, Slim, for stopping in. I'm going to try to hang for a minute. My kids get out of school early today. So I'm going to try to hang for a minute until they come barging through the door and interrupt my day off. Anyway, we're talking about Topher spin meteorites, Hobo and myself here. That's where I bought that last batch of meteorites from. They're great, absolutely great to do business with. They're a ton of fun. When they send you a package, it's full of all kinds of fun goodies, and it's the best. The best. If you want to order a meteorite, I highly suggest Topher and Sue. Here, I just grabbed a couple of agates we can look at real quick. I like this one because it's got a little rock stuck in it. Otherwise, kind of a junky little agate. This one's cool, though. Some super cool banding. Yeah, Hobo, there are so many earth rocks that stick to a magnet. So many. I usually go rock hounding like right outside my hometown here. I don't go far. I usually only go like 10, maybe 20 miles down the road in whatever direction. And so much stuff sticks to my magnet. But if I go just a little farther away from town, up into the hills, hardly anything sticks to the magnet. So you can get into a spot where things are just more sticky than in other spots. And if you hunt the same spot enough times, you can kind of start to identify, even if you can't name the stone, you can kind of identify this rock is going to stick to my magnet. I guarantee it. And I know it's a meteor wrong. So, you can start to, even if you don't name the rocks, you start to get a feel for what's a rock and what's a meteorite. And I think that, like I say, that probably the best first step anyone can take in that is to buy some actual meteorites. Because when you sit at home and you compare what you're looking at underneath your jeweler's loupe to what you're seeing on TV, or what you're seeing with your naked eye to what you're seeing on TV, you can really find a lot of similarities and drive yourself absolutely bonkers. So I think it's important to, as much as you look at things that look like they can be meteoritic, you need to look at things that can be Earth too. And almost like you did in school where you did a pro and con sheet, you need to, for each test that you're running to prove it's a meteorite, you should be running a test to prove it's an Earth rock too. That way you're doing fair, equal science. All right. I have no idea what's in this little bag. I just dumped it out and I thought we'd look at it. It's not really all that spectacular. Let's see. This is kind of odd. Look at the agate sitting on top of this piece. Whatever this piece is. But yeah, it'd be fun to make a little focus. A little cabochon and use some of that agate top. I mean, maybe not this piece in particular, but I do have quite a bit of this material. Whatever it is. I don't know what it is. But it's pretty. Excuse me. Sniff. I think that's probably a chert. I'm not real super certain. But I thought it had some like weird lines in it. No, I don't see them. There's another piece, eh? This one's fun. I was holding out on you guys. Good morning. I like chert too. It's hard to cut, but it takes a nice polish and it can be really pretty colors and patterns. So sometimes it's fun to make jewelry out of. It's not fun because it's an arse kicker, kind of like agate. This is kind of a pretty agate. And the camera's not going to do it justice. Of course. Well, I think that little fossil might have been kind of the coolest thing. There's a little blue agate. Yeah, some of these I don't have a clue what I would ever do with them. Ooh, I thought this was just a regular little rock, but look, it's got a little druzy pocket. It is a good morning. It's always a good morning when you got a sparkling little druzy pocket smiling at you. Aww. Little cutie. Otherwise, this is just a little jasper. But yeah, he's got a little quartz pocket. A little cool. What else is down here that I'm underestimating? Nothing. A little piece of chalcedony. And in the sunlight, it just glows orange. Very pretty. Let's see. I'm going to crawl underneath this table here and grab a jar. Just a random jar. And we'll see what's inside. Oh, here's the piece that I thought had the lines in it. I'm really not sure. It's kind of bordering agate, but it's not quite clear enough. So maybe a nice jasper. I should cut that and make jewelry out of it. It's probably, no pun intended, it's probably rock hard. All right, I'm gonna grab a jar. Oh my God, how rude. We're awake. We don't need the alarm. Arr, that was evil. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Guys want to look in this jar? I do. Okay, plug your ears. Plug your ears so this doesn't. Oh. Wow. Okay. I'll bet this piece fluoresces under the black light. Look at the little quartz pocket. One over here. Patrick, you may go. Thank you for your pronunciation help on those fossils earlier. And if you're going anywhere, I suggest you go to Topher Spin Meteorites and get yourself some cool meteorite jewelry. Get yourself some cool meteorites. They've got a really nice selection, and like I say, their customer service is out of this world. All right, yeah, so there's that rock, whatever it is. It looks and feels like quartz, but it's just got such a wicked, if I could crawl in there, if I were a tiny explorer and I could go in there and hang out, I totally would. I'd crawl around in there. What else? That needs thrown in a tumbler or maybe even in the trash. I don't know. It's coprolite. It's a turd. No, I don't know that it's a coprolite, but it definitely looks like a turd. A turd rock. Excuse my language. Yeah, I probably could maybe put it in a little acid and see if those crystals pop better. This has just got such a weird texture to it. This is kind of and it's smooth, but it's got stuff happening in it. It would probably polish really pretty. Here's a nice banded shirt. Just a little finger feeler piece. That kind of looks like a fossil happening in there. It definitely is the top of a piece of a coral right there. This could use a soaking acid to get rid of this, but I've spent the first 10 years of being a rock hound getting all this crud off my rocks, this like buildup stuff, and it turns out that it fluoresces, and not only does it fluoresce, but it phosphoresces. So if you take your black light, shine it on this crud that I've been dissolving off with muriatic acid all these years, shine your black light on it and then shut your black light off, and it keeps fluorescing for another couple of seconds after the lights shut off before it fades. So all this crud that I've hated all these years, I found a new appreciation for it with my UV. So yeah, definitely the top of a coral or something happening here. Yeah, you got to get one, and get UV Beast, not a sponsor. Get a good one. Let's see. It's awful light in here, and I've got lights. Yeah. Okay, let's not get too excited. What we see glowing there is probably dust. Let's see about this one. Yeah, this silly crud, you're never going to see it phosphoresce in the daylight. But yeah, get yourself one of these, Jennifer. You know, rechargeable, nice. And this is, you're going to get a great image. Oh, look at all the dead bugs that were in the bottom of that jar. Ew! Yeeker. Oh, so this in hand, let's see if we get it out in the sunlight. Pink, purple, purple, pink. Rose quartz, I think is safe to call it. I bet it would be pretty tumbled. Here's another little fossil. Little coral fossil. Be fun to polish that up and leave just that one rough side. They do go hand in hand, don't they, Hobo? Yeah, I've picked some rocks up before and had some kind of little bug on me off the rock, like a little ant or a spider or something, and I throw the rock, blah, flick my hand around, scream and freak out, and it's just a little bug. Quartz, yellow quartz. It's weird. It's perfectly like finger shaped. Jasper. A little finger hole in it. It's a great name you girls have. Another quartz. Them meteorites are sneaking in there. Here's another little piece of chert. And what's that? Oh, it's a wishing rock. Okay. Plug your ears. We'll look at another one. Plug your ears. Oh. So many bugs. Spiders are my least favorite. I don't mind, believe it or not, I don't mind the big ones, the cat spiders or whatever that live up by your porch light. They're there every day. They're minding their own business. They're eating bugs. They're kind of cool to look at. I don't want to touch them, but I don't mind the big spiders that are in their web every day. It's the one that surprises you underneath your rock. It's the one that surprises you underneath your shoe. It's the one that surprises you in your bathroom towel. Those are the ones that I don't really appreciate as much. I had to get some coffee in me. All right, let's see what's in here. That first of all, that little wonker, that looks weird, eh? I don't know what that is. I'm gonna mix them all up down here. I'm kind of wondering if this one isn't all about teeny tiny fossils. Oh, look at that little eye. And that rock has a little eye. Almost looks like a little eye, like a little Tyrannosaurus face or something. What a cool little bullseye. That's one reason right there why I like chert. Chert is cool. Yes, we love weird. We pick up weird. So this definitely has some little tiny little fossils in it. Look at that little cute one there on the end. You know, I don't know what you'd ever do with that, but it's fun to look at. This one has a little shell in it right there. And it's got a little bit of pearlescence to it. Which I'm having a hard time making the camera pick up. But cool little nodule. And this, you can see some of these little fossils, like little lines. So many of my jaspers and cherts have tiny, tiny little marine fossils in them. They're so small you can really barely see them with your eye. And a lot of smiley faces on my rocks. Here, no joke. There he is. I don't know what fossil that is that looks like a smiley face, but it is all over my rocks. It is everywhere. Here, I got another cute one to show you. Check this out. I don't know if we looked at that yet. Check this out. This rock says, "Hi ho." I'm just sorry. I can't even look at this and not laugh. It says, "Hi ho." I'm so sorry. Or does it say, "Hi ho"? Does it say, "Hi ho"? I'm not sure how to read that. But it definitely says "hi ho." Hi ho, hi ho. It's off to look for rocks we go. Oh, my brother found that and he's like, "Look at this rock." Oh, that dang near made me cry. I love that. That thing is so entertaining. Try to spell hobo. If I ever find a rock that says hobo on it, you bet I'm picking that up. Anyway, back to this pile of rocks over here after the hi-ho rock. Oh, I needed that. Good morning, everybody. This is just a really neat jasper, and all these little fine detail in here are little fossils. So, and they're not really well defined enough that I wouldn't be opposed to polishing that, making it look pretty. Some of these, you know, for example, this, I wouldn't tumble that or polish it. It just would fall apart. But some of that stuff that's locked up in that jasper matrix, heck yeah. Ooh, look at the pretty swirls and bands in this thing. I'm really not sure. Is it a chert? Is it a jasper? It's got some really wild stuff happening though. And speaking of really wild stuff, this music is really wild. Let me fix this really quick. I'm sure you guys can barely hear it, if at all, but I have to listen to it, and it was too much for me. There. All right, moving on. These aren't really the prettiest rocks. Oh, can you see the little fossil in there? Look at it in there too. Let's see. There it is. Edge of a little shell or something in there. Oh yeah. So these are like little crinoid holes. The little crinoids have weathered away, but they leave a little pattern in the rock. A little circle with a little, I don't know, looks like a little sun rays. Hard to explain. Oh, the banding in this one's kind of cool. not showing up on camera. Wonder if that's a little fossil in there. The more I look at it here, I gotta kind of move my face around the other side of the camera. It really looks like it could be a little coral fossil. Like this much of it is. It's pretty. There's a jasper with a whole like fossil imprint in it. So much of that jasper that I find is just full of little, ooh, 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 ooh. This one, oh my goodness, don't know how I'm ever going to get you to see this. It looks like a little, like, I don't know, a coral or something in there. A shell, a coral. Here's another chunk down here, and it's druzy, that little chunk down on the end. Ooh, can we see it flash? No. Anyway, that is a cool piece. All of that tiny little detail through there, you guys, I don't know if you're seeing that. If not, I should move on. I'm loving looking at it, but I don't know if you are. Blue chalcedony in the brown ones. Like this. Piece I cut and polished. Kind of a thick slab, but learning how to use my flat lap, boy, I got that puppy good and flat. But blue chalcedony inside your brown jasper like that. Yeah. Didn't we look at this one already? Here's his brother. Her. I swear. They were together sometime. I don't know. All right, what else? Little fossils. Oh, look at that little stem right in there. A little stem hole. A critter lived there once. A critter lived there once. Tiny little critters. What is that? I mean, it looks interesting. I think it's just a rock with another rock stuck to it. Ooh, can you guys see that fine little banding in there? That would be beautiful polished. Yeah, I think little crinoid stems, I think are a lot of, I wonder if I pin this back, if that would be helpful. And corals and little, excuse me, ancient sea creatures of whatever kind. And then I find them locked up not just in the jasper, but in like a limestone. There's, yeah, I was pretty sure that this entire jar had little fossils going on in it, which is a crap thing to try to show you guys on camera. But I just reached down there and grabbed a jar. Didn't really. Okay, so I also find all of these little fossils in this limonite mix too. You can see a pretty big one like right there. Some of these broken edges. There you go. You can see a whole bunch of them. Little tiny lines and circles. So I find a lot of these little fossils that are like in a limestone matrix too. There's one. Oh, there's a couple little like square chunks. And I've cut some of these and polished some of these, and they're really kind of cool. I'm not sure that one would be great for cutting and polishing. A couple little, these aren't nicest things or anything, but this one had a big shell in it right here. And it's got just a little bit of that abalone shell left over in there, so it's really shiny and pretty like a pearl. But the fossil fell out of there. Who knows what's inside that? There's another shell there. There's another shell there. So I don't usually find big chunks, big shells and stuff as often. Here was a the long skinny ones in here. Here was another one. Here is one that's still currently in here, right here. So I find a variety of fossils, even though I don't know what they are. I'm super certain they're fossils. It doesn't, I mean, you don't have to be too thoroughly trained to identify some of that stuff. You know, I mean, you can tell critters were living in some of these rocks at one point in time. Smile. So this one, actually, you actually might be able to see some of this fossil imprint on this one here. This whole side has just the coolest little coral pattern or shell pattern or whatever it is on it. Yeah, you kind of can see it. Yeah, so busy with the heck. Good God. It's obviously been a while since I've looked at these, huh? That one, it's got one there, it's got one there, it's got one there, it's got one there, you know? So, and these are fun to just cut and see what's inside. Or polish, and you can still see some of the leftover, there's a fly face. Ew. You can see some of the leftover fossils inside this that are still in there that haven't weathered and fell out. I think that's a little tiny piece of petrified wood. Who would pick that up? Who would pick that up? That's a leverite. Those two, well, that's kind of cute. A leverite. So it's got a little piece up here, and I say it's a leverite, but I probably, if I took a closer look, I would probably see a little fossil or something happening. Yeah. That's pretty, that blue. Ooh, look at that wicked banding in there. Oh, it's cool. Goes all the way around. That's pretty. Ooh, this one is a fossil, I think. You see all the lines in it? Minus all the fly guts. Ew! Oh, that one's looking at us too. It's got a little eye. All right, what's last? Ooh-wee, there's an eye. Not a whole lot else going on in that one, but that's a pretty big little eye. Big little eye it's got going on there. There's something weird to look at. Oh, this was fun. What in the world is going on there? reds, blues, yellows, a little bit of like banding right there. I mean, the rest of the stone is not near as pretty as that one side is. But look at that side. Do you suppose that would go through? Like, should you polish that? It's so cool. I like it. I like this one too. I don't know what it is. It probably is church. Oh, let's see what else do we have to look at. So many rocks. Not even joking. So yeah, I just thought we'd kind of keep going. Oh, this is pretty. Why not? Why not? I don't think this one has as many bugs in it either. Ready? Plug your ears. Oops. Let me bonk you around too. Oh, there was something in there. Some kind of hair or something. Oh yeah, there's bugs in there. All right. This one is very striking. It looks like a little feathered Indian. Okay, not quite, but I love that little thing happening in there. Not as much going on in the rest of it, but that little bit right there. Yeah, well, I wanted to warn you before I dump the rocks out of the jar in case it hurts your ears. Here's a petrified wood. He needs polished up, tumbled something. He's kind of rough, but there he is. Check out this agate. Oh, guys, I'm sad to tell you, it does not look near as juicy on camera as it does in real life. Yeah, and the sound of rocks coming out of a jar is a pleasant noise, but if you're not expecting it and I just go to shaking and you are wearing an earbud, you could definitely be wanting to say choice words at me for something like that. So try to warn you at least. You could turn your volume up and down as you please. This is such a pretty agate. It's so pretty that I just can't even do anything with it. I can't cut it. I can't do anything with it. I love it just the way it is. And some people would laugh at me for that, especially people who are hunting on the Yellowstone River, who are finding all the like great big Montana agates. They would laugh at me for coveting such a small weird piece. But I don't find as big agates out here on the prairie as they do on the Yellowstone River. So when I find one that big, look at how I found this rock this shiny, by the way, you guys. And I don't know if it's wind polished or what, but this thing is just glassy. See it shine like that? Like I've never found a rock. What in the shoot? There's dust bunnies floating around in the back of my light box. Anyway, this rock is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful agate. But yeah, it's just like weirdly shiny. Weirdly. What is that? Yeah, a little quartzite. Oh, whatever. This is cool. Let's call them orbs. Yeah, orbs. I like that little like paisley pattern in the red right there. I like this big seam running through it too. Oh, that is twice now. I had 2 alarms set. See, I haven't got 2 days off in a row for 2 weeks. I've had to go to work on my days off for the past 2 weeks straight. So I am loving my day off today and just hanging out with the Rock fam and chatting rocks. And like I say, I only get to do this for a little while this morning before my kids get out early for spring break and are going to come disrupt my peaceful sanctuary. I love my kids, but there's no way that it'll be this quiet and peaceful once they get home. Is this a dry head agate? That's what I would call it. Check out the banding on that. Ooh, it's almost pink, red right in there. That's cool. Very cool. Oh, can you see it sparkle? I don't know. I don't know if that's coming through on the screen or not. This whole thing is tiny, tiny, tiny little druzy. Otherwise, just a pretty ordinary agate, but man, that whole face just sparkles. I don't think you're seeing it. Yeah, good morning. Have a great day. A little chalcedony agate. There it goes. It can join the rocks down there. Ooh, that's got some pretty color on the end there. Really pretty stuff happening back here. Yeah, I like that. That's pretty. It deserves something. It deserves a tumble or something. It would be nicer than it is. It's nice as it is, but it would be nicer. Oh, that looks like a petrified wood. Totally turned to jasper. I wouldn't have thought, excuse me, I wouldn't have thought so until I saw this broken end and I can kind of see the wood grain in there. That's kind of a dead giveaway. A little piece of jasper, but just so shiny. That's one thing I really do like about the jaspers is you find them naturally smooth and shiny like that. Oh, again, feel free to join the rocks down there, please. This is a cool agate. Look at all the little bots and stuff on it on this side. And then it's like more agatey on this side. Just a little like seam agate maybe. Kind of fun though. Oops, shake the camera around. That's definitely a petrified wood. Kind of an odd one though. I mean, nothing too fancy or anything, but rock slide, yeah. That's actually how I got the name Prairie Girl Rocks, by the way. That's a piece of petrified wood, but that's total junk. Why did I even keep that? This is cool. Holy moly. Was that a critter? Do you think? Do you think that was a critter? I think that's a fossil on there. Or is it just a like different part of that rock? I don't rightly know. Anyway, speaking of rock slide and how I got the name Prairie Girl Rocks, we go shedhorn hunting every year together, me and some friends from high school, and we're still doing this, and we bring our kids and we bring our families and we get together every year the same day and go shedhorn hunting together, and we camp. If the weather's nice, we camp together. That's cute. Look at the pink in that. I'm not a big pink fan, but when it pops up in rocks every once in a while, I will appreciate it. But anyway, We go to the same place every year, meet up there, and then I I've made some friends over the years that give me crap about it. They're like, you should come with us. You should come camp with us. Where we go shed hunting is so much better than where you go shed hunting. And I'm like, I doubt that. I very much so doubt that. But I told him, I'll come stay. I'll come stay at camp with you. Look at this pretty piece. Holy, but jeepus. Holy, holy, hoo, hoo. This thing's pretty. So I go camp with these guys, and they go to a place called Sun River Canyon. And I'm a prairie girl at heart, and I roll up to this campsite, and one side is like a sheer cliff face, and there's just this little ledge, and then another sheer cliff face, and down below is the Sun River, and it is just raging. I mean, hauling, excuse my language, hauling ass through this canyon. And I'm like, wow, that's like so powerful. Like, it's been a long time since I've camped right next to a river. And man, it's intense. It's really intense up here. So I lay down to go to sleep, and I wake up in the middle of the night, and I ask my significant other, I'm like, is everything underneath the truck that needs to be underneath the truck? Dang, this is a pretty piece. And he's like, well, what are you talking about? And I'm like, well, is it raining? Is that what that noise is? Is it raining? And I thought I heard, blop, 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 big raindrops on the tent. And then as I'm kind of waking up and coming to, I wondered if I heard like one of the other guy's dogs chewing on a water bottle or something, like crunchity poppity crunchity pop. Yeah, this is pretty, this little Jasper. And finally I'm like awake, and I ask my significant other, I'm like, what the heck was that noise then? If it's not raining, what was that noise? What is that? And he said, it's a rock slide. And I was like, it was a rock slide? Oh my God. I mean, like I say, when we pulled up, we were camped like right, just this tiny little ledge right before the sheer cliff face, and another big drop before the river. And I'm not kidding you. I slept the whole rest of the night with like one eye open, and ooh, this is definitely a critter in here, by the way. I have taken a flashlight to this, and he glows. He's agate. Excuse me. So when I woke up in the morning from this camping trip at Sun River Canyon, I packed my crap up as fast as I could, and I got out of there. And I remember saying on my way out of there, whew, I am a prairie girl for life. And it really has stuck. There's nothing like a near-death experience to make you really feel alive in the morning. So yeah, just like I say, I was running imaginary news feeds through my mind all night, like 13 dead in freak rock slide at Sun River Canyon. So I'm glad I lived through the rock slide. It was intense. I'm sure it wasn't. I wonder what happened there. It like stopped and then came back again. That was weird. Am I pushing buttons with my camera? With my device? No. Anyway, I lived, and I'm a prairie girl for life. Keep me on the flats. Like I say, this is a critter. I don't have a good flashlight right now, or I would light him up for you. He looks like a little amoeba in there. But yeah, this whole rest of this rock is like some kind of a jasper or something. But this little guy in here, he glows. He's totally agatized and glows. He's cool. Moving on. Ooh, I like these. These to me, these rocks, excuse me, goodness, really remind me of like the face of Jupiter with all the little swirls and lines. It looks like the weather patterns on Jupiter or Saturn or something. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Nah. That's totally what it looks like. I've polished some of these. They take a polish, and they're beautiful. They're beautiful, polished up. Jupiter, yeah. Jupiter rocks. I like them. I like them, so I pick them up and I bring them home. There's just a jasper, quartzite. Nothing super special, and it's got a big crack in it, so it's not even really great material to work with, but what would a rock collection be without a few duds? And it's not even really a dud, just not my fave in this batch. This is a cool little jasper. Kinds of weird little shapes and colors. This one too. Ooh, you can see it's going to be a different color inside than it is on the outside. And that's usually backwards of that. I usually find them black on the outside and light on the inside. In fact, I should show you some of those after this. Thanks. I'm glad you're enjoying them. Here's probably a chert. I would call that chert all day. I gotta plug this in over here. Hang on just a second. Cool. All right. A lot of that brown jasper. And that's agate. On this side, it's agate. How pretty is that? How pretty. I could take him to my big machine and grind off the rest of my fingernails. Oh, that's pretty. I like that pastel color. That peach. Feel free. Rock slide on down there. There's a chert. And last but not least here, kind of a cool rock. So I mentioned just now that I find some that are like black on the outside and white on the inside, or like a light brown. I don't know what these are, but I think they're cool. Plug your ears, turn your volume down, whatever you choose. Oh, let's see, we can get rid of this. This is not what we're going to talk about. I want to put it back in that jar, but I don't want to deafen you the whole time, so I'll just set it aside. Do you find any igneous rocks out there? Yes, for sure. A lot of what I bring home, though, is stuff that I could maybe cut and polish or make jewelry out of. So a lot of the harder stuff, agates and jaspers. Some of that fossil material I find kind of pretty, so I bring a lot of that home. But a lot of this stuff, if it isn't like super pretty, I leave it out there. So these are little fossils. There's one. There's one. There's one. There's a little handful of fossils that we can kind of... Oh, here is a piece that's got a little bit of that mother of pearl still in it. There, that's something else. Okay, so the rest of what's left here, though, I think... Oh, this one. That's different, and we'll look at that in a minute. Okay. Rest of what's left there, I think, are kind of like the rocks that I was just mentioning. So... these rocks are super bizarre. They're black on the outside. They're white on the inside. Or black on the outside, white on the inside. Or black on the outside, brown on the inside. Or black on the outside, white on the inside. Or black, white. Or here's one black, brown again. Black, brown. I mean, what in the... This one, blue. Blue inside. Black on the outside. Blue on the inside. And I find a crap load of these too. I don't know what they are. They're just like really smooth, really shiny little... little pieces. So find a bunch. There's a black, brown. Black, brown. Black, white. Black, brown. I have no idea what they are. I have no idea. But I kind of keep, like, I don't find a lot of them. So when I do and I bring them home, I'm like, they can go in this jar over here all together. This one's got, you can kind of see some of the white coming through the black exterior there. You can tell this one's going to probably be brown inside. Whoops, watch my camera, not the rocks. Black exterior, brown inside. He's kind of got a little fossil pattern on him as well. This, I believe, is a jasperized, agatized piece of petrified wood. I believe. But this one, let's talk about this one. Have you ever heard of, what's it? Tortilla? I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that even close to right, but it's an agate that is full of little sea fossils. An agate that is full of little shells and sea fossils. And that is, I mean, no one's ever identified this as that tortilla material or whatever it's called, but oh man, this is such a joy under jeweler's loop. I wonder, where is my jeweler's loop? Let me see if I can find it real fast. I'll be right back. Bear with me. Huh. If I could hold everything still all at the same time, we might get you a look at this. There, can you see them? A couple of the little shells in there. See, I think the other side is prettier. Those are just shell holes. We want to see the actual shells. There's a couple. Ooh, there's one. Ah! It's so hard to hold still. Oh, that one though, right there. Okay. Now everything's all crooked. There we go. Yeah, isn't that cool? Not all of my agates are full of little shell fossils like that, but I love that piece. It's one of my favorites. Oh, good. I hope that this absolutely makes you feel like that. And if you want to go right now and do that, that's absolutely okay. I will not feel bad at all. If this has inspired you to go get creative, cool. I think this is a chain coral fossil. Isn't it cool? So yeah, what are those? I don't know. they're kind of cool. I mean, they're kind of interesting, especially when you find enough of them to put them together in a pile like that. Yeah, isn't that pretty? I think it's pretty cool. I look at it often and wonder what, if anything, I should do with it, because it's stinking pretty. I mean, some of these are darn pretty. Some of these I could definitely turn into some jewelry or do something with. What other kind of rocks should we look at? I think I said one time that I could go on for days looking at rocks. I really don't think that's... Here, what about this? A little strawberry shortcake. I really don't think that that's an exaggeration. I think I could literally go on for days. I don't know. I think that's just a quartz. Excuse me for just a second. Again, I need to fix the music. I'm not sure that that's kosher music. And I don't want to copyright for the background music. Yeah, I don't know what that is, but it looked like a strawberry. Excuse me. Oh. Hobo, you'd probably get a kick out of this one. These stinkers stick to the magnet. These stinkers stick. Of course, it doesn't look at all like a meteorite, but whatever that is sticks to a magnet. Anyway, I don't know why I liked that one, but I did, so I kept it. This is kind of cool. Is this a dendritic opal? See the little dendrites in there? The outside is a bit patchy, a bit crusty, but where you can see inside this rock, it really, to me, looks a little bit like a dendritic opal. So I keep it up on the shelf. It's kind of a different piece. You're going to love this. Fasten your seatbelt, get your drool rag ready, because we got us a druzy. Again, if I could be a tiny explorer and crawl in there, I would hang out all day. I can hear the Canadian geese right now outside the window. Oh, spring. Thank goodness. I'm ready for some warmer weather. I want to go find some new rocks. Anyway, yeah, not really a big deal, except that pocket in there is, oh, so dripping and druzy. Beautiful. So pretty. So stinking pretty. What else should I show you? Oh, here's a little baby jar. Let's look at the little baby jar. Look at baby jar. And it's full of white agates and chalcedony, like yellow chalcedony chunks. There's a yellow, well, I guess it's white. It's a white agate. It's a little baby jar of agates. I think there's some darker ones here on top, but you can't really see that they're darker. with the lid on there, but there is a baby jar of little agates. That one is cool. Okay. SMR warning. Noise warning. Look at this one. These little blobbies. Pretty little agates. This one's cool. Check this one out. Can't see if you can see it or not. That's a big old botryoidal agate. That one's pretty. It's just not quite as white and clear as some of the rest of these in here. Sorry about the noise. There, that's one we were kind of after. Look at that. Has a quartz pocket on top. A little sparkling quartz topper. And it's just pretty the way it throws light in these cracks and stuff. It's like frosted glass, but it's also kind of like phantom-y, if that makes any sense at all. But yeah, great big quartz chunk on top. Oh, little pretty one. That one's pretty. Oh, yep, just a whole handful of little beady agates. Like I say, people who are hunting on the Yellowstone would probably think I was out of my mind for even picking some of this stuff up and bringing it home, let alone keeping it. But I just don't find as big or nice of agates as they do. I said it 100 times and I'll say it again. What they have for nice agates on the Yellowstone River, I make up for in Jaspers and other cool rocks out here on the prairie. And I really do mean that. Like, I find some of the most bomb Jaspers. How about that? Red and orange. Here's a petrified wood. Oh, a brecciated jasper. It's got that agate banding through it. Another. That's just kind of plain. I think that's probably a quartz. Yeah, those were barely worth grabbing and showing you. Oh, here we go. Oh, such a big reach back there. That's a cool piece. I'm going to get my pointer out so I can point. I'm going to get a pointer. I swear I'm going to. All right, well, the toothpick pointer it is. Okay. And Slim is back. Yay. Coffee is a must. We cannot go on without coffee. Okay, I got the pointer out. Can we see all this clear agate? You see a little bit of it running right here. This whole top, believe it or not, is just covered in like the tiniest little clear agate droplets. Can you see them? There's a kind of big one right here, but yeah, all these little tiny ones in here. They just cover the entire top of this. Little teeny tiny little agates. Well, it's like one thin film. It looks like water almost on there, but it's just tiny, tiny little bubble agate. He's got a little couple of little pet rocks hanging out in there, but yeah, that's super clear. There's one right there. Little botryoidal agate all over that thing. Boom. Yeah, when your pet rock has its own pet rocks. Look at the red in that piece. Surprise! We get red. Oh. Okay, here's a pretty one. Ark. I'm gonna have to climb up here and get it. Yeah, we'll talk about that one real quick, and then I may get. I'm holding that thing with my teeth. Old people noises. Old people noises. Check out the druzy here. This is a all around pretty ugly rock, if you ask me, but who doesn't totally love a little druzy pocket? Is there any such thing as an ugly druzy pocket? I don't think so. It's got a little piece over here too. Yeah, I was just saying, stupid wind. I know. And I think if I could just be thrifty enough to use the wind to power some of my stuff, I might hate the wind a little less. But yeah, the wind is always really obnoxious up here. It's not today, but it's not very nice out today either. It's sunshiny, but it's still really cold out. And if it gets a little bit warm enough to go outside today, it's probably going to be warm enough to melt all the snow and the mud, and I'll probably go get my truck stuck. So probably smarter for me to just do this for this morning. Yeah. Just because it's my day off today doesn't mean it's everybody else's day off today, and I might have a hard time finding somebody available to come pull me out of the mud if I did it. So probably the smart thing to do would be to just hang tight for just a little while longer. And in the meantime, cut and polish, reminisce over, finds of days ago. I'm going to move these. You guys want to just protect your ears for a minute? It might be loud. Sorry about the jar noise. I don't know if it's outrageous on your end or not, but there, kind of cleaned up a little. So many dead bugs in my stuff today. It's been a long winter. It's been such a long winter. Let's see some of the stuff that Slim missed while he was getting coffee. Popped back up here. And then, here's the Jupiter rock. Me and Hobo decided this rock looks like Jupiter. There is actually some gold prospecting here in my area. Not far from here either. Like I say, I'm just gonna let you look at these real quick while I get the next thing kind of together here. And I need more coffee. This one's almost gone. So I'll visit with you about gold prospecting while I fill up my cup. I think I might have blown some dead bugs in my cup. That's all right, a little protein. So I boast that I'm a prairie girl, and I most definitely am. But we have a little local, it's just a tiny little mountain range And it's definitely well known for gold. I've never been up there and done any prospecting because there was a moratorium, a mining moratorium up there until 2014, which doesn't stop you from hobby digging, from hobby panning or anything. It just stops you from, staking any claims or doing any real prospecting. Um, yeah, awesome, Slim. Be sure to take us along on your adventure. Anyway, there was a moratorium up there, but all of that stuff is shut down. And landowners, property owners, even property leasers in the state of Montana can be kind of grouchy sometimes. And I've heard rumor that the guy up there that has the property that butts up to the gold mine is he can be kind of a jerk. And so I've went up there, looked at all the old buildings, all the old foundations. There's not really any buildings left up there. And, I've looked inside the mine. I went in as far as I was comfortable to go in and then got the heck out of there before I had any run-ins with the local guy who does all his, cattle ranching up there. So, I mean, and then I've had an invite and I need to take this. My friend has invited me up to his place and they find peacock gold. He described it as peacock gold. So gold and silver, all kind of mixed together in the same piece. Anyway, we've talked about taking a, couple day camp trip up into the back of his property there and go do that, but I haven't yet. Yeah, I carry a little Derringer 22 on me, and it looks like it's in a little makeup bag. And so if anybody ever creeped me out, like if I broke down on the interstate where there's a lot of like not locals, if anybody ever creeped me out, I could just be like, yeah, let me get my, feminine hygiene products here. And little do they know I have and I mean, my pistol is little. And I hope to never ever have to use it. But the nice thing about carrying a little pistol like that with you is if I ever tripped and broke my ankle in a gopher hole or something, I could make some noise. People would hear me. So it's, I hope to never ever have to use it, but I do take it with me. And for other reasons such as that, you just never know if you need to make some noise and get some attention. Yeah, I have a sluice. I have some pans. So I should definitely take him out. It's hard to get those farmers and ranchers to take a day off when it's nice out to do anything. They're awful busy. So, but I need to get up there and give that a try. It would be so much fun. Yeah, I'm definitely a prepared kind of girl. And I go to kind of the same general places often. And so my family, who know me really well, have a good idea where to go looking for me if I don't turn up at the end of the night. So, and I always park where you can see my truck from the main road and then walk in. So I'm easy to find when I'm out and about. I try to play it safe. I'm like you, Slim. I don't text message, but I don't actually have cell service. My cell phone works on Wi-Fi only. So if I'm out and I run into trouble, I'm waiting for somebody to come find me. All right. But yeah, local gold is not something I have in my collection, and I'd sure like to someday. Got you just looking at a screen of rocks there. I'm trying to come up with what we're going to do next here, what we're going to look at next. There's so many pretty rocks, but what would you guys like to see, I wonder? Yeah, I've learned some hard lessons too. And my mom and dad always told me growing up, if you're going to be dumb, you better be tough. So you better be smart when you're out hounding. especially when it's you and only you can rely on when you're out there. You better be prepared. Yeah, I've learned you can make real good time if the weather's cold too. You can walk real fast if the weather's cold. Yeah, I've come back home pretty beaten and weathered and I agree. Those are the stories that you look back on and are so fun to tell, so fun to retell. You know, how you went out and rescued someone who was stuck. Those are some fun stories to retell also. Oh, shoot. Um, yeah. Those near-death experiences always make you feel so alive. So I call this the Jasper jar, but I'm not going to kid you guys. There are a fair bit of agates and stuff in here too. Let's see. This is the Jasper jar. It's a big old jar. I've got a jar full of petrified wood like this too. Oh, shoot. My Jasper jar's got a crack in it. I didn't even see that. Probably cracked it the last time I dumped all these rocks out and looked at them. Probably finished her off today. All right, get you in there. See if I can get any of these out of here without dumping and making a big bunch of noise. I think we should look at this red one. Oh my goodness. That's difficult. I think we should look at the red one. I think everything else I grabbed right off the top is some kind of an agate. This one's got a big band running through it. Yeah, that's pushing more on the agate side than Jasper. That one is possibly milk agate at best. It's got some little dendrite patterns in it, but I don't know if you would see through that if you cut that. I don't know if it'd be even opaque, let alone transparent. Same with that one. That is, I'd call that Jasper. Maybe a little agate pocket right there. No, they are not, Slim, are they? They're right up there on hardness, right there with the Montana agates. At least the ones that I find are. You were working on a red agate, a red Jasper slab the other day, and it inspired me. I was like, I'm gonna work on a red one too, and I did it with you. We had dueling cab machines going. You didn't know it. I knew it. You didn't know it. You only knew your machine was going, but I knew that both of our machines were going at the same time. I could have really done a better job on this one, but I was just like, I'm over it. Tired of grinding. It's angry. Yeah. Blade killer, wheel killer, just digging grooves in my wheels. It's pretty dang stuff. It's so pretty. I love the red Jaspers, the red and yellow Jaspers especially, but arg. Nothing will take the fun out of lapidary like a 115 on the Mohs scale stone. Okay, I'm exaggerating, obviously, but yeah, the red. This is kind of a fun one. Pretty red. Awful red. Let's see what else is in here. Oh, that one's got all kinds of stuff going on. Let's have a little look at it. I'm gonna dump these out. Let's see if I can finish this jar off. Oh my gosh. gosh, who needs violence like that in their lives? That was so noisy. Okay. This is not a jasper. Oh, my mom is here. Hi, Mom. Everybody say hi, Mom. And she walks in when I'm making terrible noise. Thanks. Hi, Mom. Welcome. Welcome to my noisy kitchen. You didn't, I didn't tell you. I never tell you when I'm going live. So this is like that feldspar stuff we were looking at the other day where it throws the light. You see it right about there. Anyway, this one's got pretty pink and blue colors in it. So that's probably why it's set aside in the jasper jar. I should just put it aside right now and take it to the tile saw when we're done hanging out here. When my kids come home and ruin. Mom, the kids get out early today. It's my first 2 days in a row off in 2 weeks, and the kids get out early today and have no school tomorrow. That's horse manure. How did that work out? That's horse manure. Oh, I love my kids, I really do, but I like my me time too. Look at Mom. This is Mom's first live chat, you guys. Look at her figuring out this technology thing. She's doing it. She's doing a good job too. So this is definitely a jasper. Conglomerate jasper, maybe even. Little chert chunks in it probably. This would probably be real fun to cut, not. But all the different colors in this would be really pretty. Maybe someday. So yeah, Mom, we're just having coffee together this morning, hanging out, looking at some rocks. I showed off my gouge bot early on. See, we don't need to be looking at my bills down there. There we go. Because you know how excited I am to have gouge bot in the house, finally. Here's a little red jasper. Well, thanks, Mom. I actually really, really like these jaspers with the tiny, fine little details in them. I really like them. And maybe they're not jasper, but I think they are. I like them when they're big and busy too, but sometimes I really like that little fine detail. I don't know what this is. A jasper, a chert, a jasper. It's cool. I like it. For sure, huh, Slim? Sometimes I do both. I'll put like Lapidary Dave up on my TV so that I can see what he's showing me, and then I'll do the chat on my phone. Turn the volume up on one or the other and down on the other. This is just a junky jasper. It's in the jasper jar though, so suiting. It's a jasper. This one's got weird little finger holes in it and shapes. Kind of an odd one. And chert. All the way chert. This one I have no questions about. This is chert. The, crazy cousin of jasper. Maybe even the, like, redneck cousin of the jasper. I feel like me and chert are like the same kind. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. I actually really like chert. It's just not as fancy. People don't love to hear, oh, your necklace is made out of chert. That doesn't sound like high quality jewelry, but it can be. It can be really, really pretty. Another handful. There's another agate that sneaked right into the jasper jar. Goosebumps. You're gonna start saying that whenever. Oh, this is a potassium feldspar, feldspar, whatever you want to call it. Again, we just love the way the light shines. Yeah, so many colors in chert. It's hard though. I can't remember who I was watching cut rocks, one of the YouTubers, and I could tell. I'm going to take a swig of coffee while I tell this story. I could tell they were having a hard time cutting this particular rock. Just the video was running a little slower, even though they had it sped up, I could tell it was a rough one. And when he finally came back to the camera, he was like, that was one of the hardest rocks I have cut in a long time. And we said it at the same time as the video was playing. He said, I bet it's chert. And I said, I'll bet it's chert. So yeah, you can sympathize when you've played with enough rocks. Like I've watched when Slim was cutting his angry red jasper the other day. I was like, yeah, I know how hard that can be to play with. This is pretty cool. As far as just brown jaspers go, I actually really kind of like that tiny little detail in there. That like agate banding that runs through it. It's an awful fine agate banding, but I think it's pretty. I think it's what makes it pretty. If it's not overbearing, it's just part of that rock. Excuse me. Coffee is making me burp this morning. I'm trying to be a lady. Aren't you proud of me, Mom? I'm trying to be a lady. Another jasper with just that tiny fine detail in it. Boy, that one's pushing it. It's maybe even not a jasper. It might be an agate, you guys. A milk agate. Might be a jasper. Again, where do you draw the line? When do you call it a jasp agate? When do you call it a jasper? When do you call it a chert? They're all microcrystalline quartz, aren't they? Just one's opaque, one's transparent, one is not, right? I do not make you throw chert back. I do if we have a ton of it. And the moonstone, I admit, I'm like, let's stop bringing that home now. We have so much of that. Let's stop bringing that home now. My mom's got witchy powers, though. She can like premonice rock finds. She'll tell me, go out and find Mama a great big piece of agate today. Go out and find a great big piece of this, that, or the other. And no kidding, that'll be like the nicest rock I find that day. I'm like, oh my gosh, Mom called it too. She told me that shedhorn hunting. She said, you go out and find a great big moose antler. Moose aren't exactly what this game reserve is known for, but no kidding, I found the nicest moose paddle I've ever found in my life after she told me that. Yeah, definitely. And I try, Slim, when I'm learning about geology, I try to focus on my local geology because this is where I'm rock counting. These are the rocks I'm finding. If I ever went somewhere else, I would it'd probably be like starting all over again. I wouldn't have a clue what I was looking at. Not sure I love this rock. It's okay. But rather than learning every single rock in the rock identification book or all 5,000 kinds of rocks that are for sale at the Tucson show, 5 billion rocks, whatever, rather than learning them all, I try to just focus on what I'm going to be finding here. What are my potential finds here? So, like I say, if I ever went somewhere else, I'd be like a baby. I'd be starting all over brand new. I have no idea. I mean, I might have some idea, but yeah, I try to kind of just narrow my focus onto what I'm going to be finding here. These are all still coming out of the Jasper jar. Oh boy. All of these little marks that you see on this are those tiny little fossils that we've had a look at. Slim, I think you missed it. Go find a gold. My mom said go find a nice gold nugget. Yeah, Mom, help Slim out. Tell Slim he needs to go on an adventure this summer and find the best gold he's ever found in his life. Tell him to go find a big, big gold. Something worth staking a claim. Like life-changing gold. Okay, maybe not. I've got an uncle that's really into that. I've got a couple uncles that live in the Bitterroot Valley. More known for sapphires than gold and that kind of stuff than out here on the prairie, but yeah. It's just I've got the equipment to do it. I've just never made it up there to do it. And again, it's hard to get some of those landowners to want to go when the weather's nice, because that's when they have to be working. So yeah, I like silver too. I actually do have a piece of silver from Idaho that I got when I was a kid, and I don't remember how I got it or why I got it. And I went to all of those places down by Hamilton when I was a kid, all the Crystal Park, the Sapphire, where is it? I can't remember what sapphire mine it is. And sifted all my own sapphires, and Crystal Park is fun if that's what you're into. So I do have some Montana gold that I have panned, but I did it on my porch. I didn't go mine the gold or anything. In fact, the gold packet came from my uncle. I'm not sure he's selling those online anymore or not. In fact, I kind of doubt he is. But I didn't have to buy it. He just gave me one. But yeah, it was fun. My kid really gets into that kind of stuff too. I've got two kids, but I've got one that likes rocks and one that's more a gearhead. He's more a mechanic kind of guy, which is handy. Handy, handy, handy. This is a beautiful agate. Plug in real quick. Sorry if I get my hand in the way. Yeah, I should probably try some nicer wires on some of my wire wrapping, some actual silver or some, I don't know, but it wouldn't be Prairie Girl Rock Designs if it wasn't just a little bit rustic. So yeah, this is pretty. This has got all that little pattern on it. If I cut that thin, it would make a gorgeous cabochon. So I may do that someday. That's beautiful. Check out that big old conchoidal fracture right there. If you ever needed a picture of what is a conchoidal fracture, there's the epitome of it right there. Anyway, moving on. What else? There's a jasper or a jasp agate with some cool banding in it. Looks like someone scribbled on it. Big old agate band through it right there. Might not be the best piece for like cabochon work. Might not be bad. It's got some pretty big cracks in it, but there's no reason why you couldn't throw that through a tumbler or something. You could. He could. She could. Probably not me. We'll see. Maybe. Maybe the weather will get nice and we can get the tumbler rolling again. Maybe I'll have the self-discipline this time to keep it rolling. I don't know if you guys can hear me down here. Hopefully. Oh, we're getting down to the bottom of this Jasper jar now. Like, really, pretty much what's left is not. Oh, 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 oh. I say it's not exciting, and then I see things like that big old wicked band right there. Rock slide. Sorry about the noise. Okay, Jasper. I love Jasper. It's so smooth when you find it. And that's not just that ugly brown color. That's like more of a butterscotchy yellow color. I like that. And it's got little tiny red flecks and lines and stuff in it. That's a cool one. I like it. This one's interesting. I can't see because it's quite a ways away from me, but I'm thinking that some of these little pits and spots might be some of the smiley face fossil. Whatever fossil it is that makes that little imprint. Ooh. Time out. I gotta do a bio break. I'll be right back. And thank you guys for hanging out with me this morning. Nothing like chatting and having coffee over some cool rocks. We'll be right back. Excuse my sniffle there. All right, I'm almost back. '40s today. Woohoo! We'll be putting our shorts on. Hey, Mom. Yeah, I'm gonna step outside here after, like I say, I'm enjoying my quiet time before my kids get home. But as soon as they do, I'll probably be wandering around outside or making noise on the big machine. But yeah, I'm gonna go see if I can see my tulips peeking out yet. It's just about time for some of those early spring bloomers. All right, just a second. All right. Yeah, and one more time, just I knew you would understand. Yes. Yeah, Mom, go enjoy the beautiful weather. I'll be out there too. It's just I'm gonna do this for a minute more while I can. The kids come home. It'll get so loud. Okay, so we looked at this one. And yeah, thank you guys for hanging. I appreciate it. Appreciate the company. Here's a chert. If ever there was a chert. sure is polished. It's got such a sheen on it. It's cool. Naturally polished. I did not do that to that rock. Okay. I put some window rocks over here. We'll look at those too. This one's cool. Again, I like that kind of underwhelming pattern, that little tiny details in some of those lighter colored jaspers. I like that. This one is cool with that little, like, more orangey stain through it. Should have done this while I was over here. I need to make sure my music doesn't get carried away. I don't want a copyright strike. Okay. Little brecciated jasper, brecciated. I'm not even really sure how we say some of these words. I've heard a statistic or a saying or whatever you want to call it one time that you can tell when somebody is self-taught, when somebody read about a topic versus was taught about a topic, if they're mispronouncing the word. That it's easier if you've read about the subject and learned about it yourself, it's easier to mispronounce a word than it is if you were taught that lesson by somebody or, watching a video or something like that. So, if people are mispronouncing words, sometimes don't judge them. They probably have come to that conclusion on their own, that that's what that rock is or whatever, so good for them for doing the work, the groundwork to get there. I mean, some people just, chronically mispronounce words, but this is cool. It's got a little bot pocket in it right there. Oh, my dog decided to come back. She ran off this morning. Well, let me go get her. Another quick interruption. I'm not sure which door she's at. The back door. Come on in. Ooh, it is getting sunshiny out there. Come on in, doggins. Here's a yellow one. I like the yellow ones. I really do like the yellow ones. Yellow and red together are my favorite jasper combo. This is pretty. Look at that big different colored piece in there. It's kind of cool. Oh, druzy. Oh, there's a druzy pocket. No such thing as an ugly druzy pocket. Ever. That little thing is slippery. I can barely hold on to him. I don't know what he is. And then just another yellow jasper. Thanks, Slim. These are some of my window rocks. I like to look at these while I'm over there washing dishes and stuff. So these are going to be extra fancy rocks. These are not ones that I just threw in a jar and thought I'll do something with them someday. These are rocks that I love looking at just the way they are. So like I say, I put them in the kitchen window and I get to look at them while I'm doing dishes and stuff. I like this side of this rock. There's so much going on in there. It's so pretty. That red is really killer. I love it. This one, I actually went for a quick rock walk. I don't know, maybe a month ago or so. It was freezing outside still, but I could see some bare ground and the sun shined enough on me that it warmed me up. Anyway, I wouldn't have picked this up. I really wouldn't have. I'm going to get it wet for you really quick. I probably wouldn't have seen this. I guess. I don't know where my spray bottle is, so the sink it is. I wouldn't have seen this if it wasn't wet. And when you get it wet, you can really see all the banding in it. I would have thought it was just a quartz piece. And I would have walked right away from it and left it there. A little sleeper rock. Anyway, I really like all that banding in there. Just a jasper. I don't know if it's... I mean, it's on the sill and I look at it, but I probably use it to prop up a better rock. And I'm not as in love with that one as I am some of the rest of these. This one? This is one of my favorite jaspers. I love them when they're like the red, green, brown, blue, orange, yellow, every color under the sun jaspers. I almost kind of wonder sometimes if these aren't like a fossilized coral or something. I mean, I don't spend all day wondering about it or anything, but sometimes I don't think it's a wood. But it was the inspiration for my cutting board. Allow me to show you. Okay, sorry about my hand. I'm taking you out of the vise. Moving you across my dirty house. Cutting board. Rock. Okay, now this cutting board has definitely seen its better days. But I mean, it was darker, and if I put some oil on it, it probably would be darker again, but that's a pretty stinking close match. How cool is that? That is a cutting board designed after a jasper. Designed to look like my favorite jasper rock. And I mean, it's a pretty cutting board, as is, for sure. But when you know the backstory, when you know that it was this rock that inspired this cutting board, that just adds a little bit of a rock element to it. And as rock hounds, we can all appreciate something cool like that. This is not my handiwork. My significant other did this for me. And he did a dang nice job. He did a dang nice job. Oh, hand against the screen again. Sorry. At least I didn't hit the power off button. That would have been about the worst thing I could have done there. So we're back in the thing now. Yeah, so I do have a significant other. We've been together for quite a while. I rounded up and called it 10 years the other day. And he's like, not quite, but almost. But we don't live together. He's got his own place about 9 miles down the road from me, 10 miles down the road from me. So we see each other, every couple of days, every few days. But it's kind of nice with kids in the house to have time to spend with my kids and not worry about anything but me and the kids. And it's nice to have him over when the kids go to their dad's house on the weekend. It's nice to have some company. So that works out. And he's a handy guy. He can build some fun stuff. I don't know if he's quite as handy as Slim, we've watched your videos together, Slim, and we're like, dang, look at that guy go. We appreciate Slim's build videos. If you've never checked out Slim Pickens and some of his homemade lapidary equipment, definitely do. Definitely check it out. If you are in need of a little inspiration or advice on which direction to go, check it out. Now the only thing we got to do, Slim, is figure out how to let the wind power your stuff. Definitely, definitely. I've been just doing some like rough cab work, just like rough shapes. Nothing fancy. This was kind of fun. Just a quartz, but it was just like so sparkly on this side, all the little broken faces. So I left that natural like that and then polished the other side. And of course, quartz is easy to work with compared to jaspers and stuff. So yeah, I know that 6-wheel cabber idea in the works. I'm excited. So I wanted to try a dop stick the other day because I grind off my fingers, my fingernails, every part of me is just, I get the side of this finger right here on the machine sometimes. So I wanted to try it, and obviously it's not a finished piece, but I got quite a ways around this and I'm not really sure if I love the dop stick or if I'd rather do it by hand, but it fell off the dang stick. The glue came off and I worked it by hand some more a little bit, but that dang red jasper, oh my gosh. It's pretty material, but man, it's like working diamonds. I swear, it's so hard. It's not as bad as the agates, which I've done a couple of lately. One that I just finished and wire wrapped. Not the most fancy wire wrapping, and I just left, like I say, rough shaping. I'm just polishing the fronts. Yeah, rounded by hand. I can't do round like you do. I like that little setup that you have to make your edges and stuff round. Round is hard for me. Perfectly round is hard for me. Oval, I can do oval. Oh yeah, the battery's dying over here. It was plugged in. Where oval gets tricky is if you're not going to flat top. Oval gets tricky if you're looking for a really round dome top because you don't want your oval, your line to wiggle. If you're going to meet it, you want to meet at the middle and then evenly taper on both sides, right? But circle, shoot, you don't even have that to... I actually got overzealous with this rock. I did this one on the big machine, got it pretty good, and then I meant to go back and hit it with some like cerium or something, you know, and work on it some more. And I was just like so excited. I was like, I can't wait to get that in the wire. It's like a ding dong. I wire wrapped it before I finished polishing it, but it doesn't matter. It's a Prairie Girl Rocks design piece. It's a little bit rustic in nature. It'll do. It'll do. It's a piece. We got a great big show coming up this summer here in town. They do an all-class reunion up here where all of the grades that have ever graduated from this school come back and celebrate like an all-class reunion all together. And I really want to have some stuff ready for that sale. So even if it's not perfect, I think people who are here, who grew up here, would be more than happy to have a piece made from a rock found here and a local here. I think this is chert. Look, and I really want to cut this, and I've already kind of eyeballed it and decided that this is kind of the face I'd like to get. This is like a blue rock with like purple spots, blue, purple, purple, blue, gray, purple, blue. And it certainly has some fractures and stuff running through it, but I actually do think it will be pretty if I can get it cut without blasting it into 1,000 little pieces. That little banding in there, some of it, words, man. How about we just stick with pretty? We'll describe it as pretty. I didn't use a green dot wax, Slim. I used super glue and a screw. So, I mean, I was kind of surprised it didn't stick, but in all honesty, I probably should have let it dry a little longer. I got impatient and was like, yeah, let's take it to the machine. So, oh, you know, what do you do? Well, like I say, that was my first try at it ever, and I really wasn't sure that I loved the way it felt in my hand. That, I mean, I don't have a feel for it, obviously, and it's something I'm sure you learn. It was probably just as awkward the first time I ever took a stone to the wheel without, but I just don't really remember it feeling, you know, now that I've done it for a while, it just feels natural to walk up there and put stuff on the wheel. I mean, it's always intimidating to use your machine for the very first time. You know, you don't know how it's gonna feel, if you've got the speed right on things, that kind of stuff. But there's a big druzy rock. This is big quartz with a whole crap load of druzy all over it. You just never know. You never know if it's gonna, you know, the wheel or the blade's gonna explode as soon as you touch something to it, have a catastrophic failure. You just never know. You never know if that wheel is super grippy, super gritty, and it's gonna grab that rock and throw it right out of your hand. It's always intimidating to try something for the first time until you get a feel for it. That's so pretty. I don't see it on the screen. There, I do a little. So I don't know if you're catching it or not. I hope so. A little druzy pocket there. Again, this isn't my usual style of rock. I wouldn't usually pick up a, you know, quartz that looked like this and be like, ooh, put that in the bag and bring it home. But when the entire face of it is covered there, I can really see it right there. The entire face of it is completely covered in druzy. It's like, okay. I suppose I'll bring it home. Why not? Yeah, like I say, not really my first pick, but I couldn't say no to the druzy. I just couldn't. Yeah. With the green stuff, sucks with cold water pop-offs. A lot. Yeah. Well, apparently so did my hasty super glue job. There's a red one for you, Slim. Doesn't look as red in there. Is it my light? Looks horrible. That looks horrible. Ah, sure. There's a jar we've never looked at. And it's got cool stuff in it. Let's look at it. Okay, window rocks. Here, yeah, we'll look at this one real quick. This isn't just jasper. Oh, this is jasper agate. I bet that's a booger to cut. I'm probably a little heavy-handed too sometimes. But It's all right, to each his own. I mean, everybody's got a little different style for sure, which is what makes it art, and that's what makes things interesting and pretty. If we were all handed a rock that looked similar and we all did the same thing with it, that'd be boring. So if, each of us are handed a rock that looks very similar and each of us all do really different things with it, that, man, I like different things. So, and sometimes I like the same old, same old. Plug your ears or turn your volume down. We're going to look at these. I have no idea what's in here. We're going to find out together. Hopefully not as many dead bugs and things. So we talked about these a little earlier. I'm going to throw that over there. That looks like a chunk of common opal. Sounds like plastic, feels like plastic. I've got one piece of this that I found that's got fire in it. I should make my mom a piece of jewelry out of it. Opal is her favorite stone. I'm not really super certain why I kept this. Oh, because I did a piece out of this once, this like blue feldspar, I guess you'd call it, because it reflects like that. And it actually, when I got it cut thin and polished it, it was pretty. I don't know if that's exactly the same rock as the cab I made, but it looked close, so I thought I'd maybe try it again someday. This looks like a piece of crap. This looks like a leverite. Why is this in there? That's a jasper, and a pretty one at that. Got some cool stuff going on. All right. Got some little fossils in it, little druzy pocket, little agate banding. It's a small piece, but it's got quite a bit going on. Anyway, I won't force you to try to look at some of the tiny detail in that. This one, though, we can clearly see the fossils happening in this, or the fossil imprints. And we don't need to look real hard to see it. It's pretty obvious. So many of my jaspers that I find up here, though, if they don't have the little holes where the fossils have completely worn out, then they still have the fossils in them, and they're beautiful. Really fun to look at under a jeweler's loupe. I've spent many hours squinting, looking through a jeweler's loupe. In fact, I've spent enough time now, and with the polishing too, and wanting to see if my polish is good. And I'm not exactly visually challenged, but I'm I'm blind as a bat without my contacts in. And even with my contacts and glasses, I don't see great anymore. I'm getting old. So I've ordered one of those like the jewelry like visor things with the, somebody said the name of it the other day. Vision visor, or whatever the heck it is. I'm going with that. Vision visor. I'm going to get a vision visor. A jewelry vision visor. Optivisor, that's the word. Vision visor. That's my word. The vision visor optivisor. I'm going to get one of those here really soon. This looks like petrified wood, but it also kind of doesn't. It's wood. It took me a minute to determine that, though. Yeah, so that I can see better and not have to squint one eye, because I've squinted one eye and then put a bright light on the things that I'm looking at and looked at it through my jeweler's loupe for way too long. And then I finally come away and my one eye is like light blinded and the other one's not. And it's just like, oh. Yeah, let me get my sea bitters. Yeah. There's a little agate. It's kind of got a blue tint to him, too. It's kind of pretty. Yeah, it needs a lot of cleaning up to be anything worth looking at. Maybe another little agate there. I'm not real sure. I don't know what that is either. It's agate though. It's got some little spots, and I don't know. Could be a chert. I know what it is. It's microcrystalline quartz. Here's another piece of that like common opal stuff that I find. I might have even chopped that off that other piece. There's a pretty little agate or chalcedony or whatever you want to call it. Little piece. This is crazy. How wild is that? It's like blue gray, like steel blue gray, and red and brown and little chunks stuck in there. So let's see. Concretions have rounded bits inside of them, and conglomerates have like jaggedy bits. Is that, more not roundy, uniform, I think that's how that goes. So it's a conglomerate, I think. What the crud is that? Is that a wood or is that a trigger? I think that's a trigger. Oh no, it's got long grain. It's wood. Be prettier polished. What in the purple? It doesn't look purple on my screen. Why, I wonder? Because it really looks purple in hand. Like I say, I wonder if my light is not doing us any favors here. Is that any better? No, not particularly. Yeah, it's like blue right here and like pink over here, and together it kind of looks purple. It's really like purple right there. Well, that's kind of pretty. I might have to think about doing something with that. I wonder what. Buzz a big chunk of it off on the saw, get rid of that, and then maybe make like one little cab out of it. I don't know. I'd sure like to see that at least like polished. Like maybe if I don't know. I would like to do more with that rock. It is a very unique color. I really wish it was coming across the screen a little better. It's really purple. It's purple. And hang on just a second. I do find purple rocks from time to time, and I'm not just talking about that purple rock or purple colored rocks. I found this. This is the only one of this I've ever found. I found this out in the middle of a field. I knew it was gonna be a stunner if I cut it. Ready? Oh. I mean, I wish I'd find chevron amethyst every time I went out rock hounding. I did make a cab of this. My grandma's birthstone is amethyst, and I cut enough of this rock off to make her a piece, and the rest of it I covet for now. You always want to keep the first one you find until you find one that's nicer or better or whatever, but this is, man, that's a keeper. It's the only one I've ever found, and it was just in the middle of a field. I don't remember exactly where to. I'd like to go out and just rake through everything with a fine-tooth comb and make sure there's not any more of this there. It was hard to decide. Do you cut it this way? Do you cut it this way? How are you going to get the best pieces out of this? How are you going to, I could see quite a bit going on this way, so I assume that if the pattern kept that way, that this would be a pretty side. It was. It is. I don't know if it'd be prettier cut the other way, but that's the way I went with it. It was a little bit big for my little trim saw, but quartz, it was soft enough that it didn't fight me too bad. But yeah, I shook like a leaf when I cut that. I was like, please don't screw this up. Please don't screw this up. Please just be smooth. Just be a good cut. I'd love to find some more of this. I'd love to find some more of this. Anyway, purple rocks. I don't find a lot of them, but I find some rose quartz that kind of borders on a purple color every once in a while. I tried to polish that, and that's crap. Let's get that out of there. I find some rose quartz that kind of borders on a purple color. That's crap. Let's get that out of there. But chevron amethyst. I don't mean to throw my significant other under the bus, but I'm going to do it real quick. He's a plant guy. I'm a rock person. But I remember telling him that it's chevron amethyst. It's purple quartz. And he was like, geologists named purple quartz. They named it amethyst. And he's like, man, I hope nobody won any awards for that. He's like, seriously? Amethyst is just purple quartz. And I'm like, absolutely. I mean, so when he put the 2 and 2 together, he was like, what? I don't know if it made him kind of see amethyst as a, lesser exciting stone, or a more quartz, more exciting for him. I don't know. Some of these are kind of junk. I don't really know what they're, why. Oh, this is kind of cool. It's got little like feldspar chunks in it. Or I don't know if they're feldspar, but they throw the light like feldspar. That'd be kind of fun to tumble. But yeah, I hope nobody won any like awards for that. That's pretty. I like that. Yeah, I don't know if that rolled out of some glacier or how in the world that got here, but I'd sure like to find some more of it. That's cute. I don't know what it is, but I kind of like it. It's got a little bit of druzy over here. Nothing that's too overwhelming. That looks like a little piece of petrified wood. It absolutely is. Pretty agate though. Nothing special. That's a dark jasper. I don't know what that is. It's pretty. Ooh, watch the camera. That one too, it's kind of interesting. It's got some stuff. Yeah, that's pretty. I like the yellow inside. I don't know if it actually goes that yellow like all the way through, or if it's just that little patch. Probably just that little patch. A little jasper. Look at all the dog hair, and don't look at it. Junk that came out of those jars today. Ew. Ew, man. I suppose. I mean, there's worse things. Worse things you could come across. Here, I actually don't talk a lot about rocks that I buy, because I don't buy a lot of rocks. But I did buy some dino bone, and I got a piece here that is really kind of cool. And I'm gonna go out here and just say it. If you don't kind of like dino bone, we kind of can't be friends. Check out this cool piece. Again, the colors not quite coming through. I also love Dino Bone. I've only found a couple pieces of it, but I think I'm getting a better eye for it. And so I think I might be finding more and more of that as my rock hounding days go on here. But yeah, I've just bought this Etsy, eBay, one of those. It was a reputable dealer, though, somebody I knew would sell me some good stuff. And again, I'm a budget kind of girl, so I probably only paid like maybe $1 or $2 for this piece, maybe a couple bucks, but I love those great big cells. And that one too. They're all pretty agate filled. So the only reason I haven't cut this piece yet is because it was a lot nicer than I thought it was going to be. It's so pretty in hand that I want to really like be sure what I want to do with it before I go cutting it up and grinding it on a wheel. I'd like to get a couple pieces out of it, maybe even a few if I can, but yeah, I happen to think that those great big cells in this are just the coolest. I cut a bunch. I made some actually really cool jewelry out of another piece that I bought. I haven't done much with the stuff I found. Again, I get a little sensitive about my stuff that I find until I find enough of it that I just don't care about it anymore. But the first piece or two, I'm always like, that's the only sample of that I have. But this cool piece of Dino Bone, I cut this on my 6-inch high-tech diamond trim saw, and I polished it on my flat lap. And let's see. I just saw, there it is. This is a crap light. I'm sorry about this crap light, but you know what? It's working for now, where other things are not. See if I can cover up the other lights with my fingers. Well, it was working. There we go. This piece looks like stained glass. Every little bit of this you can see through, and every one of those is a different color. This light sucks. About this one. Yeah. That's better. I was pretty dang proud of myself. I was cutting, more reasonable pieces of this chunk for jewelry, and my brother was like, hey, yo, I think you should cut that super thin because I think I'm seeing light through that. And I was like, I think we should cut it thin too because I think we're seeing light through it. Anyway, I got this cut pretty darn thin. And I think it's just so pretty. I keep it hung up on this light up here because when the light goes through it, it's just, right now you see that little orange color and kind of some blue color, but when the natural light goes through this, it's just a rainbow of colors. And the angle of this, it kind of runs at a little bit of a slant. I didn't quite catch it straight up and down. So if you give the rock a little bit of angle, you can see through those a little better at some angles than at others. But yeah. Dino Bone is a joy to work, a joy to cut and polish. It's not so unrealistically, unimaginably hard and angry. And not all of it is beautiful like this or beautiful like this. Some of it some of it's less than impressive, you know, some of it is just kind of brown or just kind of one color or another, you know. Here's the rest of that piece that I cut that little slab off of. So I have some more of that I could do stuff with. Yeah, this can be expensive, especially if it's gem bone quality. This was a surprise. You know, I'm buying this at rock bottom prices. We're not sure it's gonna, you know, I mean, look how this could have needed stabilized. This could have just been junk inside. But it turned out, it was a surprise. It turned out really pretty. So if you're willing to make a B grade rock and turn it into an A grade piece, some of these less than expensive samples might be all you need. I didn't want to cut an expensive dino bone the first time I took one to my saw in my flat lap. I wanted something that I wasn't afraid to ruin. It takes some getting used to figure out which direction you need to approach these to get the nicest cut, the nicest display of cells that you're going to get. Again, some of this stuff isn't made for cutting and polishing. It's just too brittle. So, and some of it might be worth that kind of price, Slim. You know, I mean, this is not near as pretty as some of the stuff you're going to find at like the gem show, right? They're going to bring it. Where this is just something that the common guy can get a hold of. This is just affordable bone. I'll email you later and let you know where I got this. So you can go have a look if you want. It's not all nice stuff, right? But guess what? Having this in my hand, looking at this with my eye, you know, I got a better idea what I'm looking for when I'm out rock hounding now, as opposed to just looking at pictures on TV. Actually, and then, you know, the old stick it to your tongue. Get a feel for, I mean, I don't encourage anyone to lick rocks, but try it once. Try it once. It surprisingly sticks to your tongue, like a lot. It's kind of fun. So try it once. I mean, as long as you know you're not licking cinnabar, you know, something super icky, and you know you got a piece of dino bone, try it. It's kind of fun. Here are some just like, again, like little chunks that, look at them with a jeweler's loop. See what's going on that? Is that really? Yeah, it really is. I was going to say, it looks like a rock I found. Guess what? It looks like a freaking rock I found. Maybe I ought to go check that rock I found. You know, like I probably found junk like this out in the field 100 times and I just didn't identify that I probably was like, that's a piece of broken weathered quartz and junk. You know, I mean, who knows what I would think some of this stuff is if I found it in the field. These were just free gifts, by the way. Just little extras that they sent. And these are great little things to have. You find some kid who's interested in something like this and they'd probably be drooling over a piece, even though it's junk. This is not going to make jewelry. Yeah, let's not lick cinnabar. Oh, those are little things you learn as you go along as a rock hound, you know. Which rocks are not good for your health and which ones are just fine, you know. I actually want to get a Geiger counter. My kid has a kit to build one. My mechanical kid, my older kid. He has a kit to build me a Geiger counter. I should really get on him about that. Come on, man. I should bug him. Tell him I'm making you a fantastic dinner tonight. You should go build me a Geiger counter. Anyway, yeah, I'm curious to see how many rocks I have in my house that are slightly hot. I bet you actually quite a few. And I'm okay with that. But I'd like to know some stuff I pick up because it looks slightly terrifying, and I would like to know what. Oh, that isn't my rock. Anyway, yeah, I don't buy rocks. It's against my religion. I have so many rocks that I need to get rid of a few, but I do buy meteorites and dino bone. Those are my exceptions. Those are things that I'm not finding in abundance out here, but that I find incredibly fascinating. So, dino bone and meteorites. You guys want to see the goojba one more time? I want to show it one more time. Goojba. Yeah, and if the Geiger counter kit that my kid's putting together turns out to be a win, I'll email you the information and you can get one too, or maybe commission him if that's not you're mechanical though. You could totally do something like that. You can buy a little kit. They're super affordable. The kits are. So if it turns out to be a worthwhile investment, I'll share that information with you. You could make a video on it. Build your own Geiger counter. But yeah, wouldn't it be kind of cool just to know what your rocks are doing? I think it'd be cool. So, let's look at this one more time. I think it's a chain coral. Yeah, if you're interested, again, just if I don't send it to you willingly, poke and prod a little, I'll send it your way. Like I say, some of my meteorite buddies are into that kind of stuff a lot. They want all of the hot minerals and all of the hot stuff this, hot stuff that, or just a sample of every kind of this, that, or the other on the, I don't know, periodic table samples, the whole case of, stuff that's on the periodic table. Some of those guys really get into some of that stuff. And they know a lot more about Geiger counters and equipment and things like that than I do. So I asked for quite a bit of advice from some of those guys on how's the most affordable, economical way to do this. And to get me a result that I'm going to be able to read and interpret. Some angry rocks. I know that asbestos. I kind of wonder if I got a piece too, and I don't keep it in the house. And it's like fibery, like long, thin little fibers, like little hairs. Like if you brushed it, they. I don't dig asbestos, nor do I dig the pretty cousins of asbestos. No, I don't really dig the whole serpentines and jades and things like that are cousins to the asbestos. I don't love them. Those are ones that I definitely mask up when I'm cutting and polishing. Even though I'm cut and wet polishing, I just don't want it. I don't want it. So I'm careful. If you keep it sealed, it's fine. Yeah, if you don't breathe it, right? Like, that's something you don't want to get in your lungs. You're not going to get it out. Acid too. When I'm cleaning things with acid, that's something I'm I could probably do better wearing my goggles and gloves and things religiously when I'm doing acid, but I definitely wear a mask. I could get a better mask. I really just use the old COVID mask, but acid, I've heard, and I don't know if it's true or not, but I've heard that when you breathe the acid fumes, that it gets in your lungs, and it'll stay there, kind of acid burn your lung. So I don't screw around with it. I try to be careful. I do it outside. So Al Gold prospecting, what is up? We're looking at a dino bone right now. But yeah, I opened a meteorite package yesterday, so I'm pretty stoked about it. I always like adding new meteorites to my collection. And the meteorites I got are an unclassified NWA. It's got quite a bit of metal in it and also really cool chondrules in it, where you don't always get that best of both worlds in one meteorite, but there's that. This is a Martian sugartite. God, I have a hard time saying that word. A Martian that is under classification still. It's still not fully, the classification process has not been finished. So we should say, instead of saying this is a Martian, we should say that this is a suspected Martian. But I was saying earlier, some of my friends have just got their hands on some isomet saws, brand new isomet saws, and they're just going cut crazy at cutting everything, and they're cutting it so thin, which is great. For a budget friendly meteorite collector, I want a good viewing surface. I want to see lots of as much material as I can for my dollar. That or it better have a pretty fusion crust. So yeah, I've been looking for them too, and I think probably the best start you can have to finding a meteorite or a dino bone out in the field is to actually go ahead and buy a piece or two from a reputable dealer. Look at it under your jeweler's loop. I mean, stick it to a magnet. Stick it to your tongue. We were just saying don't lick cinnabar, but lick dino bone. Lick it once, just so you know when people say it sticks to your tongue, you know that they're really not joking. It's almost like the old frozen flagpole. It's almost alarming. The first time you do it, it almost scares the heck out of you. You wonder if you're going to get your tongue pulled off there with all your taste buds attached. And this is the first Bencubanite meteorite that I'm adding to my collection. This is Gujba. Everybody's been laughing at me every time I say it. They say it sounds like I just sneezed, or that I am cussing in Russian or something, but Gujba is in Nigeria. This was a witnessed fall. It's a meteor as it's flying through the atmosphere. It's not a meteorite until it comes in contact with the crust of the earth or an ocean or the surface of the earth. So when it comes in contact, then it's a meteorite. So this was an observed fall, witnessed fall, April 3rd of 1984 in Nigeria. It's a 1 of 9 classification, which means there are only 8 others that have been classified as Bencubanite. So this is actually usually a pretty expensive meteorite, and it is expensive. But you can get a little sample like this of Gujba for like $50. About. And that was within my price range for a piece of Gujba. I've wanted Gujba for a long time. It's an absolutely visually stunning meteorite. Not to mention, interesting thing about Bencubanites, and I'll try not to bore you guys with my meteorite nerdy facts, but the not metal material, the silicate material that you see between the metal, is some of the most primitive material we know of in our solar system. When they age date that silicate, it comes back as old as the beginning of the universe itself. So meteorites are amazing. While I'm throwing wild facts out at you, let me tell you too that there's a carbonaceous meteorite called Murchison that has more amino acids in it than the human body. So the science that goes hand in hand with meteorites is absolutely mind-boggling. But there are the 3 new meteorites that I'm adding to my collection as of yesterday. This piece, by the way, the little tiny Gujba. Oh no, the kids are home from school. The little tiny Gujba. It's time to be while it might be a $50 piece, you could probably get a piece like this for, I don't know, 20, 30 bucks, 30, 40. This was gifted to me, so it's hard for me to put a price on this. But not all meteorites are as expensive as Gujba. When you start checking boxes like witnessed fall and 1 of 9 in classification, that really drives their price up, where an unclassified ordinary chondrite such as this you can get for, 50 cents a dollar, $2 a gram. This kind of material can be really affordable, but also really cool to study, learn more about, have in your collection, whatever your thing is. Different strokes for different folks. So I said I would do this till the kids came home, and the kids are home. It's hard to tell the meteorite and the dino bone apart in this scene, in this particular photo, but they are totally different material. Again, both very fascinating to look at underneath of a jeweler's loupe, underneath of black light, however you enjoy examining rocks, but I love them. Art! Art! Oh, hey, buddy. Thanks for joining us. Art is one of my meteorite friends, and so I gotta show it off again. Art, I don't know if you were here. Art, look. Has that pea got it all going on in it or what? It looks just like a big sample of Goushba, only miniature. I love it. Love it. Art, if you don't have one of these, if you don't have a Bencubanite or a Goushba in your collection, I highly suggest you go get one of these peas. Get them while you can still get a nice piece like this with all the metal and the silicate in it together. Get them before they're gone. Get one, Art. I'm so stinking happy. I've wanted a piece of Goushba for so long now that I took it. Oops, it keeps disconnecting and coming back. I don't know why it's doing that. Anyway, I took that Goushba to work with me the other day, and I think a couple of people might have thought that my cheese had started slipping off my cracker, if you know what I mean. And a couple of people ask me, like, how do you know it's a meteorite? Oh, because it's been classified, and, you know, how much do people really want to know before I just am boring them to death? So anyway, it was fun. It was fun to take it to work and show it off to everybody. I'm so in love with it. Get yourself a Goushba pea. Totally worth adding to your collection. Anyway, like I say, guys, I had promised to do this until the kids got home. I didn't promise you or anything. I promised me. There's that chevron amethyst one more time.
If you hate me so much, why don't you just say so?
I love you. You're a tornado of destruction.
I'm aware.
You're like Wreck-It Ralph. Anyway, so they're here. They're gonna probably get noisy, rowdy. Oh, Caden.
I'll be out of here in just a second.
Oh, you're going to track practice, aren't you?
Yep.
And Caden said he was gonna go to Elijah's because I threatened to make him do chores if he hung out here.
Nice. So, quit complaining, why don't you?
I might get a little more me time. Here, I'm gonna show these guys one more rock before I set them free for the afternoon. I'll probably get to visit with Art again here in a little while at the meteorite hangout. Art, I'm gonna probably show you my Goushba again at the meteorite hangout. So check out this piece. I'm really not sure. Here, let's just kind of scoot some of this stuff out of the way. Okay, I'm really not sure what this is. And I'm not sure what this mineral on top is. Those who are well versed in blacklight, in UV reactive minerals, might be able to tell me what this is. All I know is it's pretty. Anybody know what that is? That red glowing crystal? I mean, this is what's going to take this show to the top, and over the top is a little UV display at the end here. Is the only thing we were missing today was some UV fun. Calcite? I buy that, actually, Art. I really do. I could probably stick this in some acid and really solidify that guess, but for now I've been just totally happy looking at it once in a while under the black light. Anyway, like I say, pretty ordinary looking rock. The rock itself does diddly under the black light, but that white to clear colored crystal really pops. Really glows red. So we'll have We'll have to hang out one evening when it's not so bright out. I've got lots of septarian nodules and calcite crystals. We'll call them calcite. Things like that. Agates that glow green. Common opal that glows like bright blue. So, and all locally collected stuff. Unless I specify otherwise, I would never show you guys a rock that I didn't collect. Like I say, I was open and up front. I bought dino bone. These are not ones that I found. These are ones that I bought. I do have a couple pieces that I have found, but I didn't show those today. And the meteorites I did not find. I bought them. But everything else that we have looked at today, I'm usually really good at specifying. If it's not something self-collected, I'm usually really good at telling you where it came from. Oh yeah, we started this whole thing almost 3 hours ago on a rock exchange package. So again, none of those fossils in the very first few minutes of this, or the Herkimer diamond, or any of that stuff is my local finds. That was in exchange for some of my stuff. All the way from here to New York, we traded rocks with each other. So that was kind of fun. Anyway, yeah, we went from there into a meteorite show and tell. And then we went through several jars of rocks and just hung out and talked white vinegar. Well, Fizz, yeah, I was gonna go a little more aggressive. I was gonna give it some muriatic. Watch it, Fizz. We'll melt it down. We'll find out. Yeah, I'm sure some white vinegar would be more than enough for it, and I may just do a little spot test to see. But yeah, I probably won't be as quite so evil violent as I say I will be with it. And I may not test that piece. I might just leave that one up on my shelf. I've got another couple pieces just like that I could probably try some tests on. Also, calcite is very easy to scratch. Yeah, and that's why I kind of imagined that it would probably dissolve pretty easy in the acid, is because it does seem pretty soft. I'm almost certain that you're right, it's calcite. But a couple more tests just to answer that definitively for myself would be fun, worthwhile. So I'll probably dig into that. Maybe later this afternoon, maybe later this week, maybe later this year. I'm a terrible procrastinator. So, oh, and then I got all the lights shut off. But yeah, we are saying goodbye here. We got kids coming in and out now, and we've been at it for a while. Slim's been hanging here through thick and thin. Al Gold prospecting, swinging in here at the end. Art, swinging in here at the end. I'm glad you guys joined me today. Way glad you guys joined me today. It's been a blast, and we'll do it again real soon. And then I had a question. Let's see. Oh, Patrick had asked in the beginning if I could do a close-up on that Gouge Boss. So keep your eye out somewhere, a short video, a post, something. I'll get you guys a close-up of that Gouge Boss so you can really appreciate it. What else? I think that's it for today. I don't know if anybody's got anything going on. Slim's been going live in the afternoons, so keep your eye out for Slim Pickens. If you haven't visited his channel, you need to do it. Al Gold, he's got some videos. Go check them out. So I think that's it. Oh, Dave's been going live like a couple times a week, and he even went live a couple times yesterday. So keep your eye out for that. And yeah, I think everybody's kind of wrapped up what's going on for collaborations, except me and the whole Katie Did Rocks crew. All of us girls, female-led YouTube channels, are getting ready to put our collaboration out. We were shooting for the first week of April, and Kate, I think Kate kind of got hit with a pretty bad head cold, and she asked us if she could have some extra time. And I'm so glad she asked for some extra time, because I really wasn't quite ready. So the new scheduled release date, and I have an exact day, it's a Tuesday. Last week in April, first week in May, I don't remember. So keep your eyes peeled for that information too. We have all of us, there's a handful of us girls, Montana Rock Mom, Marlena Atkins, myself, Katie Did Rocks. I am missing somebody, and now I feel like a jerk for naming those that I can remember and not the one I can. Oh, Rocks for Brains. Oh, there might even be one more in that collaboration. I wish I could remember everybody. Anyway, we're all making something. See you, Art. Thanks for stopping in. And we're all making something for this collaboration, and then Kate's gonna auction off all of our stuff at the end of our big collaboration. So I will definitely be pushing that, reminding everybody to come watch that as it gets a little closer to that actual date. I know I've mentioned it once before, and I thought we were closer to the finished product than we were. I thought we were going to be finishing the first week in April. And like I say, when Kate was like, I need more time, I was like, oh, thank goodness, because really, so do I. So, but that's coming really soon, and I'm excited, super excited to see what all the other girls are doing, and super excited to share with you guys what I've been doing behind the scenes. Shh, it's a big secret. Shh, you'll have to come watch. You'll have to come watch and find out. So, oh, thank you for hanging out with me and looking at all the pretty rocks out on the prairie. Pretty rocks are everywhere. Pretty rocks for us to look at. Pretty rocks are everywhere. There's a pink one and a blue one and a green one and a yellow one, and they all are very pretty, and they're all there for us to see. Thanks, everybody. We'll do it again. Come hang out with me again soon. We'll look at more rocks and do more rock things.